What's good, y'all, man? So we talking about what Joel Klatt had to say about the college football playoff. A lot of people talking about it, making changes to it. They don't like it, feel like Alabama, Ole Miss, South Carolina should be in. I do agree with South Carolina. But let's be honest, man. Everybody got whooped. Like, SEC team got demolished. All right, Tennessee, you know what I'm saying, didn't have any answer. Jeremiah Smith had 2 touchdowns in that one. You know what I'm saying? That defense of Ohio State was surround route tight. You know what I'm saying? They had no answers for it. They have 22 straight road losses now to AP, or you just say top 10 teams. That is huge. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't just ACC teams getting whooped, right? It wasn't just a Big Ten team. Everybody got whooped, SEC included. Let's be honest here. Now, some of y'all going to say, oh, well, they shouldn't have been playing Ohio State in the first round. That's not fair. Hey, it's a reality of the situation. You know what I'm saying? Nonetheless, I agree with Joe Klatt. First round matchups are not going to always be great. You know what I'm saying? What they need to do is simply, okay, they need to get the 12 best teams in, right? Do away with the automatic bids, right, for winning the conference championship. Get the 12 best teams in, you know what I'm saying, and do it that way. I think that's the best way to do it. And, you know what I'm saying, it's going to be that conversation, best or most deserving, right? And I think at this point it can't be most deserving anymore. Now, I've said I think SMU deserved it, right? They got whoops. Kevin Jennings was terrible. You know what I'm saying? Had a bad game, right? Penn State was all over him. You know what I'm saying? So I think you got to get the best. Now, how you go about doing that, again, I'm going to go back to some of the metrics that you see in college basketball. Let's get some FPI in there, right? Let's get some quad 1 wins, quad 2 wins, right? And when we evaluate somebody's strength of schedule, let's see who they defeated. Because now that's also an important metric I think we got to start evaluating. And for the committee, what is your strength of schedule? When you're scheduling these matchups, now I know obviously they're months out in advance, but when you schedule this, who are you scheduling against, right? What teams are you matching up against when you make this 3-4 years in advance? That's all crucial, you know what I'm saying, when you think about it. Because that proves, hey, can you hang with the big boys? Can you go up against toe-and-toe and win, right? And I think the metric should be, okay, was that team 500 or better against, you know, strength of schedule with these top teams, right? That's something that we got to think about here going forward in the future, you know, and also, like I said, with the FPI, the SOS, strength of schedule, you know, and the quad wins, I think, or some kind of metric that says, okay, hey, you beat this many teams that was top 25, whatever you want to call that, to be able to kind of sift out if the team is for real or not. Not something I'm not going to be happy. We've seen both ends of the spectrum. I think the committee is doing the best they can. Didn't include Florida State, put a 1-loss team in instead for them 2 years ago, getting Alabama in over Florida State, right? Everybody was up in arms about it. This year, they went the other side, right? They put SMU in, 11-2, lost to Clemson in the conference championship game. They get demolished in the playoff. Doesn't look as good. You know what I'm saying? So it's a thing that's going to be tweaked around. You know, everybody's going to have an opinion. You know what I'm saying? And the first round matchups, like he said in this video, 17 points. You know what I'm saying? I think it was the NFL last year. Sometimes you don't always get that. But what you do want to get in is the best teams. And we see it every year in the NFL, right? Best teams get in. You know what I'm saying? And they go toe-to-toe. And we get legendary battles between elite quarterbacks. Now, NFC is a little bit different because it's not always as consistent. Like, hey, okay, this guy, Aaron Rodgers is in every year. Tom Brady's in every year. The AFC has that, though. You know, every year, pretty much for the most part, it's going to be Lamar. It's going to be Josh Allen. It's going to be Mahomes. You know, and Burrow, obviously, we'll see about as well. But every year, you're going to get that out of the AFC no matter what happens with any team. Now, you might have a young emerging team that comes up. It can battle and contend. But for the most part, it's going to be them 3-4. You know? So that's what we want to see. And I think that's why fans were disappointed. They want to see cinema. They want to see teams going toe-to-toe, game-winning score, not blowouts. But it's the reality. It's the first year of it. I think it'll get better and better with time goes on. Got to get, obviously, control under the transfer portal and things like that. But they weren't great first-round matchups. They just weren't. And I think you got to think about, too, obviously, Ohio State lost to Michigan. But come on, man. I mean, they had 2 losses. They shouldn't have been playing, or shouldn't have been an 8 seed. Let's be for real. This is a national contender. You know what I'm saying? They're easily a top 4, top 5 team. Shouldn't be in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Texas is also a top 4, top 5 team. You know, Notre Dame got a 7 seed. They're obviously a top 5 team national contender. We're going to see that next week when they play Georgia. Like, just having the other teams go up against each other and the best of the best go. That is my thoughts, man. Unfortunately, I do think there needs to be a revamp. And I kind of outlined what I think needs to happen as far as with the scheduling and everything. And I know that's already in advance. and that already happens. But just those different measures they need to do to evaluate, unfortunately, to get better first-round matchups. But like he alluded to in this video, it's going to be tough for those teams to win in those type of environments. Playoff environment, going on the road to the Shoe, Buckeye Stadium, right? Going on the road to Happy Valley and Penn State, going on the road to Austin and Texas. Like, those are tough environments to play in. And I'm not making any excuses for the teams. I'm just saying I do like that they have them at home. I know he preferred a neutral site. I do like that they have them at home because it makes you play in a tough setting and outing. But just having better first-round matchups, in my humble opinion, I think would have made it even better. But nonetheless, we'll see what happens. We'll see how they continue to tweak it and everything. But I do believe that it happens. And it happens, as he mentioned in his video, not only college football, but also NFL. We see it all the time, man. But I know it'll be some crazy takes here, but I do agree with Joe Klatt. Has been some duds, and I do believe we need to revamp it just a little bit, unfortunately. And we'll see what happens.